It's the inventory. That's what's at the core, and it's the thing that is most highly resisted. The questions: where am I selfish? Where am I dishonest? Where am I self-seeking? Where am I frightened? Fear is beneath all of the anger, so that I can answer the fifth: where am I to blame? It's not external.
Welcome to Aloha Speaks, home of Malama Aloha Pono with Alexander Noman.
Aloha, Alex here. And this topic, anger management, is, I don't know if I would say slippery topic. It's definitely a debatable when it comes to addiction, because I personally am prone to denial. So I do depend on the big book, they call it the big book, the Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, for clarity and to break through that denial. Even though I have multiple addictions, because it addresses all of them. And it's inspired by that I realized it's 8 days from my 13th anniversary, where I'll have 13 years. I just am so grateful. And it's not my first time around. It was 1984 to 1994 that I had 10 years. Well, there's an 18-year gap in there. It's like, what the heck happened? It was anger. Now, I haven't even talked about, I got pissed off at AA. And it wasn't AA, it was my sponsor that had done something to me, and I did not do the work. I didn't do what I knew to do, which was the 4th step or the 10th step on the issue. Instead, I used it as the opportunity to just be angry, so angry, and leave AA. So in parentheses, before I go any further with that, I have the word rage. So rage is, of course, anger. After the slash, I have 100 forms of anger. On page 62, it says we are driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. Right after it says selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. Ooh, this is, so I said slippery, tricky stuff, because my very first, I have read before I get to my first, I have managed the external, this anger management. If I could manage the external, okay, so an example. Get the person I'm angry with, I have anger at you, get you to stop doing what you're doing. Change, get you to change. Manage that for me to feel better. Then the anger will go away. How about that anger management? And I can deny that. I can say, no, I'm not doing that, when I am doing that. So when I have 100 forms of anger here, I can say, no, I'm not angry because I'm using a different word, I'm irritated, and I'm not claiming that I'm the one. It's you that's doing the irritation. So that's not anger. You're irritating me. Or you are annoying me. You're so annoying. So that's not anger. I'm in denial. Doesn't change the fact that I'm the one who's feeling the ugliness. That I think of that Buddhist saying, I don't know how it exactly goes, but anger is like giving myself the poison, hoping the other person is going to die, or whatever, however it goes. So the last word in the parentheses is self-pity. So it says 100 forms of self-pity, but it doesn't address, and there are so many forms of self-pity. How this came up is I was talking with a young man, 2 days sober. I'm coming up on 13 years. He's 2 days. Having a rough time. And it brought back to me, and he was expressing to me how he is so glad that he's not drinking, while at the same time it's having so much difficulty and being in that place of self-pity. There was a lot of terrible things happening. I'm relating to that. I not only was in that same place early in sobriety, self-pity is a form of anger that I don't acknowledge it, because it's, in a sense, throwing a tantrum in a way, because it's saying self-pity. Wham. This is terrible. It's not going my way. Something is terrible, and I don't like it. Wah. I want it to be different. This is happening to me without the acknowledgement that I did it to myself. Not judging it. It's that the acknowledgement is not happening. I created this mess that I'm in, which only states how important it is, or how effective it is for me to get to that place over some period of time. Hence the 12-step program. All of the 12-step programs are based on resentment being the number one offender. Just as it was for me. I got pissed off at AA. I'm never going back to AA. 18 years. I tried everything to stop after drinking morning, noon, and night for 18 years, knowing AA worked. I tried everything else. Couldn't. It took it's called pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. They talk about that. It was so terrible. Talk about self-pity. Broke down. And I have here page 28. On page 28, it talks about in our turn, in my turn, sought with all the desperation of a drowning man, of drowning men, it says, the same escape. And they're talking about the guy who originally went to Dr. Carl Jung, that was supposed to be hopeless. I was hopeless. But I not only was hopeless in that alcoholism, I was 225 pounds overweight in my overeating. I was heavy into the gambling, heavy losses there, smoking cigarettes, the other, I'm not going to get into all of them. I was into my addictions, all of them. The anger doesn't have to show up as rage. It can. It shows up as passive aggressiveness, control issues. For me, that's how it did. It can show up in all kinds of a variety of ways. The bottom line is that when it comes to any of the formats, and I have that here because I used other, before, and I ended up in AA, I was in other formats that addressed the same issues, addressed the anger, including, like I talked about, Byron Katie and other ones. It addresses those things, but they also say if you have an addiction issue, go a drinking issue, go to AA, or addiction, go to the other 12-step programs, which AA is the mother of all of them, all of the 12-step programs. So it's the inventory. That's what's at the core. People like to say, oh, it's something else, it's something else. It's the inventory, and it's the thing that is most highly resisted. Yeah, I don't have the time. I don't want to do. I'll do the rest of it. I don't want to do that. Because it addresses the issue, the inventory. The questions: where am I selfish? Where am I dishonest? Where am I self-seeking? And where am I frightened? Fear is beneath all of the anger, always. So that I can answer the fifth: where am I to blame? I'm to blame. It's not external. It's all an inside job. And I am the beneficiary. Always. Until next time, aloha.